All right, let's just jump right into it. You know all about facial recognition, right? And you're definitely aware of smartphone tracking. But listen, if you think just throwing on a mask and leaving your phone at home makes you somehow invisible, well, you're operating on a totally outdated threat model. So today, in this explainer, we're going to break down the advanced infrastructure that's actually being deployed worldwide right now. We're looking at exactly how absolute tracking works in the real world.
Because here's the thing, state-level surveillance, it has evolved way past single points of failure. Artificial intelligence has essentially moved from just passively observing us to this active, multimodal data fusion. Basically, it's constantly pulling from multiple streams to map your behavior in real time. It is completely reshaping what it actually means to be monitored.
So let's look at the contrast here, because it's pretty stark. Think about the old threat model. That was mostly just facial recognition and maybe pinging cell towers. Pretty basic. But the 2026 threat model? AI algorithms aren't just looking at faces anymore. No way. They are literally calculating the exact biomechanical rhythm of how you move. They're tracking behavioral anomalies and then cross-referencing every single bit of that through continuous data fusion.
All right, Dossier, Tab 1, Smart Gait and Biomechanics. Let's get into it.
So, let's explore this first major advancement. It builds a profile on you based on the undeniable physics of your body. The source material calls this Smart Gait, and it is honestly one of the most fascinating and maybe formidable advancements out there. Basically, Smart Gait uses deep learning AI to automatically extract features from your raw spatiotemporal gait data. Now that sounds super technical, but it really just means the unique physical timing and spacing of your footsteps. And it does this all on its own. It completely bypasses manual data pre-processing. You can change your clothes, sure, you can wear a hat, but you cannot easily change the fundamental physics of how your body moves through space.
So yeah, so much for the classic hoodie and sunglasses disguise, right? The AI absolutely does not need a high-res, perfectly lit shot of your face. It can identify you flawlessly from a distance or in low light or literally from behind. It maps out the specific angles of your joints and the rhythm of your stride, and with something called multi-gait crowd sensing, the system can actively pick you out even if you're walking in a tightly packed crowd with dozens of other people.
Which brings us right to Dossier Tab 2, AI Anomaly Detection.
Because identifying who you are, that's really only the first layer. The second layer is the system calculating what you're going to do next. Traditional surveillance was just a human watching a monitor, waiting for something to happen. Modern AI, though, integrates massive amounts of data from CCTV, IoT sensors, and biometrics. From all that, it establishes a continuous baseline for what it considers normal behavior. And the very second you deviate from that baseline, maybe you're moving erratically, loitering somewhere you shouldn't be, or even just showing signs of panic, the system acts. This automated threat detection loop is the crucial point here. A machine establishes what's normal and instantly flags you for deviations, literally judging your behavior before a human is ever even in the loop.
Next up, Dossier Tab 3, the regulatory illusion.
Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, aren't governments heavily regulating this? And that's a completely fair question. Let's look objectively at the European AI Act. It's one of the first major, comprehensive laws globally on this stuff. It came into force in August 2024. Moves through these staggered implementation phases in 2025, and then hits full execution by 2026. The Act actually classifies real-time remote biometric identification as high risk. But when you really read the source text, it becomes crystal clear that a high-risk classification is definitely not a total ban.
So while the Act generally prohibits this kind of remote identification in public spaces for law enforcement, there are some very specific legal carve-outs. These explicitly allow the tech to be used under precise scenarios, things like preventing terrorist attacks, searching for missing persons, or conducting subsequent criminal investigations, though that last one does require judicial authorization. But basically, these carve-outs mean the capacity for mass remote identification absolutely continues under designated conditions.
And for border authorities or these designated high-risk environments, yes, the tech is governed by strict compliance rules. We're talking documented risk management, automatic logging so everything is traceable, and strict human oversight to monitor the outputs. But, and this is a big but, while it is highly regulated, the actual fundamental infrastructure required to do this, the mass biometric identification, the gait analysis, the behavioral tracking, that infrastructure remains actively integrated into our public security frameworks today. The capabilities are absolutely there, and they are functioning.
And that leads us to Dossier Tab 4, the Zero Trust Reality. This is really the ultimate reality of our modern technological landscape. We are fully entering an era of absolute data fusion. Your physical movements, your digital footprint, your network metadata, your biological gait, It is all being continuously compiled into one singular, undeniable profile. To actually operate securely within these systems, the source material explicitly stresses a massive shift in mindset. It literally says that privacy in 2026 requires extreme operational security and a zero-trust approach to both your digital and your physical presence. Understanding how these architectures actually work, instead of just trying to cover your face, is for sure the only real way to navigate them.
So, it leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question to chew on. In an era of absolute data fusion, what truly remains private? It's something we all need to think about. Stay aware and keep analyzing the data. And hey, if you want to understand how even your powered-off smartphone is contributing to this exact tracking grid, definitely go check out our previous explainer on mobile network vulnerabilities. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep learning.